Management of Afcons Infrastructure, Subramanian Krishnamurthy, the Executive Vice Chairman, and Paramasivan Srinivasan, the MD at Afcons Infrastructure, are joining us on the show. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for taking the time out and joining us on the show. Mr. Subramanian, I'd like to start with you. Can you tell us what kind of top-line growth are you targeting for the next 3 years? Where will the major growth come from? What is going to be the growth driver or the key engine when it comes to this business?
We have been achieving a top line growth of 16% in the past 3 years, and we are operating in 5 major verticals: metro, hydro, underground, oil and gas, surface transport, and urban infrastructure segment. We expect a major upward swing, and foreign countries where we are operating 30% of our revenue comes from overseas markets. So, there also we are expecting an upswing in our order book.
Good morning, gentlemen. This is Cheryl also joining in the conversation. And Mr. Subramanian, in the past, you've actually selectively pursued large value and complex specialized projects. If you could explain to our viewers and us as well, what's the reason behind this sort of a strategy? Have you seen specific benefits? That's the reason why you've tilted towards that strategy and been with it for such a long time?
In complex projects, the competition is lesser, so the chances of bagging the project improves and the project margins improve. So, that's the reason why we have pursued complex projects.
All right. So, then currently a major chunk of the order book actually comes from underground and elevated metro segment. Do you expect that to continue, or will the product mix change going forward? And if so, which other segments have you actually envisaged higher growth or likely to have higher growth potential for your company?
The markets are expected to maintain its position for 2 to 3 years in the urban infrastructure space, but we are there in hydro underground, we are there in marine, and we are there in oil and gas. And so, put together we would expect to reach our targets in these segments.
Okay, well, point taken, Mr. Subramanian, but are you also focusing on increasing the operational profitability? Is that one of the key thrust areas or key focus areas for the company going ahead? And also on the back of that, what kind of margins are you targeting for the near future?
We have achieved an EBITDA margin of 11.6% in the past, and we are working towards maintaining, improving these margins.
Okay, well, also help me understand what the IPO proceeds are going to be used for. A part of this will be used towards debt repayment. So, what will the debt position be after this repayment, and also could you run us through what the numbers on that front look like?
My colleague is better placed to answer that.
In terms of debt repayment, we are looking at overall 1,250 crores is what we are raising through an IPO, out of which 600 crores goes towards debt repayment. And that's on the debt repayment side. Apart from that, we have about 320 crores towards working capital, 80 crores towards capex, and 250 crores towards general corporate purposes.
Right. And lastly, let me understand actually what sort of demand strength or demand trends that you are actually witnessing across the country. Any new opportunities on the horizon that Afcon has actually been able to identify? And also, are you planning to further benefit from government's push on the infra?
Government continues to push on the infrastructure and has been heightened focus over last few years. And we are well placed to capture the market from that context. And there could be segmental shifts here and there from surface transport, it could move to railways. And last several years, hydro projects have not been awarded, which could get awarded. All those, as we are fully diversified EPC player, we are well placed to capture on these opportunities.
All right, then all the very best for that, Mr. Krishnamurthy as well as Mr. Srinivasan. Thank you so much for joining